and we want the fans out of their seat. We want to score goals. We want to get them, momentum on our side, and then on the flip side is when we don't have the ball, is it we got to be dogs.
So glad to have field level highlights once again, thanks to the FC Dallas media crew. But welcome everybody to Afterburn Soccer Show. I'm your host, Nathan Hill. You can follow me at Afterburn Soccer over on X. We welcome back our good friend Chris Winters. You can follow him at CWintus on X, and our good buddy Jose Carmona at El Chico Carmona. Welcome
What's
guys.
up, everybody?
A different mood tonight, right? A different, maybe a little different spirit and energy with a pretty good weekend for FC Dallas and North Texas Soccer Club. We're going to get into it, and of course, for folks watching on YouTube, we'll be, welcoming your comments, your questions if you want to join us and share some thoughts. We'd love to have the show, shift a little bit in your direction. But hey, it's a different spirit. And, of course, congratulations to Petar Musa. You saw he got the goal there and, of course, announced that he's a father-to-be. I don't know if this is his first child. I actually didn't do
Second.
Second child. Okay, good.
Yep.
Well,
Second.
another one on the way. Good. Congratulations to Petar. Great moment for him. Just a great for that goalkeeper to make such a mistake. This team has needed some help on that end. But, yeah, 2-0 win Saturday night at home over Portland Timbers. We haven't had enough of those home wins this season. A good atmosphere, a good result after some really tumultuous weeks with a lot of change. Players leaving, players starting to make their presence felt in Frisco, but a team that really just needed to regroup and maybe lift their spirits some. And Lalas Abubakar grabbing a massive header off of a corner, a big goal for him. I just said this before the show, but my son had heard me complaining about him and said, "Dad, the player you don't like scored a goal." And so I said, "Well, I will eat that." Deservedly man of the match. Great performance from Abubakar. And of course, Michael Collodi also really strong in goal. Lots to like about this performance. So let's just start with you guys. Jose, what did you like about this win for FC Dallas?
I liked everything about it. It was it seemed like a full team effort. There were some guys that have been underperforming that had some of their best games of the year, and Collodi, of course, proven once again that he's a rock solid number 2 keeper, and showing why Carrera was never going to surpass him. I mean, the guy makes up for it with his shortcomings with good command, good communication, good positioning. Excellent number 2 keeper. Very happy he gets another shout out. And like I said, the team as a whole looked. I mean, they looked like a team. We've been watching the team sort of play like like it's different entities trying to work together, and this is the first game where I felt it was a full, complete game where I couldn't say sure one half was better than the other, but I thought they were both solid halves, and I can't recall the last time we had a full game where honestly I wasn't even worried about the outcome. At some point in the game, I was so relaxed. I knew the team had it. They were in control, and frankly, I don't recall that happening the entire season. So I'm pretty happy, pretty excited the direction. A great follow up to getting rid of your DB player.
Chris, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think Jose said it perfectly. It's felt like a team win for the first time, and I mean, everyone seemed to have kind of a great game. There wasn't really one that was lacking. I mean, the only guy that in a lot of ways, at first I was going to be like, oh, I didn't love his performance. He ended up getting an assist and a goal. Lalas Abubakar. I mean, man, like he proved me wrong too. I thought when Leggett came on, I thought he had a really great, spell of possession in the second half.
Agreed.
I think my only drawback, and I don't want to be negative at all because I thought it was a great performance from FC Dallas, would have loved to see a couple other guys maybe get a start. I know obviously Dietzen got in, so that was awesome towards the end, but would have loved to seen Sansarver come in a little bit, get some extra playing time, but I'll take it. 2-win against Portland, who's had a great season so far. I mean, really can't ask for too much from them. I mean, Lucho's gone. Team's playing great. The Collodi kids 1-0. It's amazing.
Yeah, big clean sheet. It's that gives a lot of confidence for this team who has struggled to get those. Thoughts on Kamungo's performance, Jose? I mean,
I thought he was solid. I mean, honestly, he wasn't spectacular, but I thought it was one of his better all-around performances that he's had all year. He didn't look lost like he usually has looked for most of the season, and I think this continues the trend of him having played better recently. And it's just some players he's been in poor form for most of the season, and it looks like he's finally starting to get into a good form. So hopefully he can keep that up because let's face it, we need him out there on the wing, and maybe signing Dietzen, who's coming in at that same position, maybe that's galvanized him to up his game, and maybe some players just need certain motivations to get them going.
Well, it seems like one of the stories out of this one too is this formation that Quill has been tweaking throughout the season, and largely a lot of it around Lucho Acosta, who's now gone. Matt Doyle wrote in his armchair analyst piece late on Sunday that FC Dallas played like they had 1,000 pounds lifted off their backs. They played with a new energy without that complicatedness. And I know most of those guys would say, "Oh, Lucho's a great player." I mean, they've competed against him, and they can see what he can do. But he also definitely brought some distraction. He didn't quite gel, and the team had to do all these things. So I think it was refreshing that they got 3 attackers again on the field, which is how they've always wanted to really line this team up. So you had Logan and Musa and Kamungo, which opens the door for a lot of guys getting some more minutes rather than just sort of the 2 strikers. And, the defensive line was interesting shift too. I think not the lineup we sort of predicted. We don't kind of have a left back right now, so it's a little bit of a strange thing. But we're going to have maybe do this by committee until the team can bring somebody in or something. But, but it worked. And that's probably the most important thing about it all. I mean, Chris, did you get the sense that the team had that weight lifted from them in this one?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It felt like a lot of guys were able to start kind of flourish a little bit more because offensively, when Lucho was on the field, he wanted things to go through him. And then if things didn't go well, you could see it on his face. I mean, he just was distraught, like, oh, I can't believe, we missed that or something, and it allowed guys, I think, like Bernie, like what Jose was saying, to be able to have a better game. He could be a little bit more confident out there. And I was happy for him. I was happy for the guys. It seemed like they had a great performance, and I just hope that we can keep it up, as we go down the season.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and jump over and hear a little bit from Eric Quill, the head coach of FC Dallas, just kind of how he thought the game played out and the kind of things he'd like to see from the team.
The honesty in the fight from the start to the end. I didn't think we let our guard down at all. And sometimes when we've been in the lead, we've done that to ourselves. And I thought tonight the mentality, even 1-0 up, 2-0 up, everybody was fighting with concentration and effort, and this organization of the lines. dealing with crosses, dealing with the wide area. They're talented. I mean, that's a talented team, really dynamic in the wide areas, commit a lot of numbers inside the box on crosses. Collodi ate up a lot of it. I mean, credit to him. He was outstanding. We battled in the up front in aerial duels and scored great goals. And I thought the guys that came in the game played beautifully. I mean, every one of them, the Jet, Cappy, Julio, Dietzen, I know it wasn't long, but like you can see the quality in them. And I mean, we played some good football in the last 30 minutes. Like I said, that's a good team. That's a team that's on fire. I know they've played a lot of games recently, but they're coming in here hot and not giving up much. And to get 2 on the night and get a shutout, I can't ask for more. So now it's about, can we build ourselves into a consistent manner of this kind of performance? And that's, huge game next weekend. So hopefully this gives us the right psyche.
So, and that leads into on the next question that we can talk about. Really, FC Dallas is not out of the playoff picture. Certainly, it's going to be a slog, but the schedule's pretty favorable. A lot of home games left. The Western Conference is going to be a bloodbath, so teams are going to drop points. But it just, right now, Quill said it's all about the consistency going forward for this team. And, the transfer window is not shut yet, so we'll talk about that in a bit. But, how confident are you after this win? I mean, the fact that despite the up and down results, and mostly down results, especially at home, that FC Dallas is still 4 points out of a playoff spot, right? A play-in game, which is pretty fortunate, which is pretty great, right? How confident are you guys feeling about this team kind of making things interesting over the next, 6 to 8 weeks as playoffs loom? Jose, we'll start with you.
Well, it's certainly my confidence has improved over the past month than where I was a month ago. In that, I think this team. I mean, let's face it, they need to be able to play the way they did this past weekend at home to have a chance. And them putting out this kind of game, it gives me that hope that they have a shot. So I think, excuse me, I think my confidence has gone up. I'm not going to say it's sky high or anything like that, but I see a path for this team to get into the playoffs and sneak into the last, one of the last 2 spots. It's sad that that's the most we can look for, but honestly, them making the playoffs will feel like a win, and I think they have a shot, and that's all I could ask for. That's all I want for my team, is to have a fighting chance, and I think this team looks like it's getting there, like it's ready to fight.
Mm-hmm. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think I'm on the same page as Jose. I mean, I think playoffs would be a win for this season. With everything going on, that just feels like an incredible feat by the guys on this team. And one thing I wanted to mention, I felt like about Lucho, leaving, and a couple of other guys, feels like in a lot of ways, Quill is finally getting the opportunity to build the team around his formation. And so I felt like Lucho, obviously, very in that cam role, sitting kind of behind Musa, but in the 3-4-3, I mean, he wants to be, we need 3 forward attacking players rather than just one sitting behind Musa and trying to kind of dictate things. So it feels like if we hit playoffs, it really is this next step that we're taking for this team, building the type of team Quill wants to have. And we bring in another DP player. I mean, another center back. I mean, like, this team could be really good. I feel like you have Julio Anderson coming back. He's a solid attacking depth piece. You have Bernie right behind him, Sam Sar. Like, you have all these guys. You have so many options up front that I would feel good about. I'm not there yet 100%, but I'm feeling better about.
I agree.
I think
I just also want to add that the observation on this team before the season got going was that we were a wooden spoon contender until we added Acosta. So while part of me says, we'll be disappointed that we'll be battling, for the 9th or 8th spot, that would actually be a great position for this team considering what they've been through this year.
Yeah. I mean, going from no center back at the beginning of the season to having a decent, center back. I feel like, and obviously Osaze is really good, but Alvaro has been looking solid. I think we're still looking for another piece there, but there's a lot of things to be excited about for FC Dallas next season because, obviously it seems like with the way this team goes, you hold on to some of your better players for a few years and then evidently another guy comes in, they like to purchase them. So I don't want to put it out there. I don't want to jinx us, but Musa has been on fire. At some point, at what team, does a team come in and say, hey, like we'll pay whatever it takes to bring him in? We've got to be able to utilize him while he's here. So
that's right. Hey, Marcin, what's up? What's up to you?
What's up, Marcin?
Yeah, I think, Third Degree put this on their, they tweeted this out the other day, too, about, that 40 points is kind of that sort of that playoff-ish number. Once you get to 40 points, you're in the mix. And really with 9 games to go and they need 12 points, that seems pretty possible if the team can keep playing at this strong level. And, Musa is just in such great form. So, yeah, I share all of that concern, too, because who knows what's going to happen. And all of these players have a price tag, and Musa has just been great with a limited assortment of guys around him at times. So that's just a credit to him and the kind of player he is. Yeah. So you're going to imagine some team is going to take a swing here at some point. If not this summer, not now, or maybe in the winter. So yeah. And of course, I even like it. Like the Collodi has been he's just a wonderful. He just is a really good guy, and a good human being, a smart guy. And you think like, hey, if Paz gets an offer to go, you kind of say, we could roll with Collodi for a bit and see if he can grow further into that role. But so it gives you some confidence there too. So there's some good pieces, you're right, that are coming along, building out that bottom part. I think that's been one of the other stories is just the turnover of roster. Marco Farfan, of course, being sold to Tigres. You got Lucho to Fluminense. You got Josh Jackson coming in from San Diego. It's kind of an extra backup goalkeeper. Sarver, Josh Torquato, and Dietzen. There's still room in the roster. I imagine if FC Dallas goes out and gets somebody before the window closes, it's probably going to be another one of these Clavijo specials, kind of we say. It was like a loan, another guy, show that you could take a flyer on him, but you're not committed long term to him. And so maybe you bring in a center back who's had some more experience, but you could throw him in the mix and see if he's going to work out. But I don't know. That kind of seems the caution they'd want to take unless they can identify that center back or that.
I was going to say, could that special please be a defensive player? Because
please,
if we're going to a 3-man backline again, it again emphasizes that lack of depth at that position.
Yeah.
And one of the players that would come in for one of those 3 guys is Farfan, who you just shipped. Yeah. So you're even thinner in the back line as you go to a 3-man. So honestly, this team, they would have to be completely healthy down the stretch in the back line to not have any issues. So please, add a defensive player. Anybody, somebody. We need bodies back there.
Well, and you mentioned Chris too, and this is the thing. Well, we'll talk about North Texas in a minute, but that Cisse did not travel. Momo Cisse did not travel with North Texas down to Austin FC2, which we'll talk about in just a sec. But turned out I did text our media guy there, and he was like, "Oh, just a knock, just a precaution." But we thought, well, maybe Cisse is going to be on the bench and get a chance to maybe have a cameo or a debut with the first team, but. Not yet. But someone still also to keep an eye on. Although, we'll see about all that interesting stuff. Well, let's talk really quick then about North Texas. North Texas, of course, coming off a really disappointing loss at home to Rapids 2, and then they on Friday night traveled down to Austin FC 2, and had a really nice bounce back, a good strong performance. You can still see why this team can compete with anybody. Really, Alvaro Pedrinho started for this one. It was interesting to see Pedrinho start. We were kind of wondering if there was a story behind that, but it just sounds like just getting him minutes. It's been a while since he's played, and he looked good. I mean, he looks like he's definitely above NTSC, definitely above MLS Next Pro. Caleb Swann got his first professional goal. Really nice moment for him. He's a young player trying to grow into this opportunity. All around a strong performance, denied late by an Austin goal, but then for them to get that PK shootout, get that extra point, kind of salvages something on the road. 2 points on the road is nothing to laugh about at all. I mean, Chris, any thoughts about this performance from your perspective?
Yeah, no, I mean it was a really solid performance, I think, by North Texas. You go into the game, you're missing 4 of your regular starters: no Sarver, no Cisse, no Molina, and there was one other person that was missing. No Tariq Scott, right? So you're missing 4 of your legitimate starters day in, day out. You bring in Pedrinho, obviously. He, like you said, he's just kind of a class above the rest out there. But then you have JT Harmstart, hasn't had a great season, but then he goes out, gets 7 saves on the night, looks fantastic. Aside from the 191st minute goal, I mean, the team looked great as a whole. And I thought there was a couple guys, Harms one in particular, I really liked his progression. Favor Ariyama looked really solid as well. I thought he was getting a lot of balls forward for the team. And they just did a really good job of controlling possession. I think that's been one thing they really hang their hat on is possession, but it doesn't seem like in the final third they're able to do anything with it aside from getting the ball to Sarver, having him go down and then try and make a move happen. But yeah. I thought they looked great. I think I would like to see a little bit more of that creativity in the final third. I would like to see some other guys get some opportunities to kind of bring the ball through the middle and maybe work it out wide, but it was a good win. And I think they've got a really tough game coming up next week or this week against St. Louis, who's kind of the bad boys in town, the favorites. Yeah. So we'll see, I would like to see how Pedrinho goes up against this defense. Maybe he can bring something a little bit different than maybe Sarver could bring, a little bit more creativity through the middle, but we'll see. I was happy.
Yeah. And Jose, I think it was you in the chat, you had a thought that like maybe this was also getting Pedrinho some minutes.
Yeah, we saw
he could go in the postseason. He could play.
We saw that last year with Farrington, where they gave him, a couple of runs on the bench to make sure that he was available for the postseason. And I think that's what you're seeing here with Pedrinho is get him down there, get him a couple of games enough so that when the playoffs, which are right around the corner, they're only a couple months away, when they come around, he can play. Because let's face it, this team. We're coming, there's like 8 games left in the season. Right now they're battling for a position. 8 teams will make it into the playoffs. We're currently sitting at 7th. And honestly, it's a whole pack of teams around, above and below. So this is the time. This will be a good measuring stick game playing St. Louis because this is a team you're going to have to knock out. Unlike FC Dallas, where we're hoping that they just get into the playoffs, we know North Texas is going to make the playoffs. And when it comes to the playoffs, they're in this league, they're more along the lines of the Seattle Sounders. As long as they get the playoffs, they have the kind of talent that can make a run in the playoffs. So for North Texas, really, it's just get everybody on the same page, find out, your other attackers besides Sarver, give this team a little more balance going forward. Solidify the defense, which hasn't been great all year. There's still work to be done, and we'll see how far along this team is when they play St. Louis, because let's face it, that's the team you got to measure yourself up against. That's the team you're going to have to beat if you're going to go anywhere. And you're very likely, if you stick around the positions you are right now, 7th or 8th, going into the playoffs, you're very likely to meet those guys very early.
Yeah. I haven't read up yet if they're going to do the weird thing where you pick your own opponent again. And
yes, they're still going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're still going to do that. So
yeah. So someone will be but there might be some teams that hesitate. They don't want to pick North Texas.
Well, it depends. It depends on the team.
Yeah.
That depends on the team. I mean, some teams are confident. St. Louis probably feels they can beat everybody right now, and they're a team I could envision taking the toughest opponent available to get it out of the way.
Oh, okay.
So some teams are just that confident. Not everybody thinks the same way, and that's the great thing about this little, pick your opponent. You and I, we take the safest opponent. Not everybody thinks that way.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some teams pick tough opponents right off the bat.
If I'm not mistaken, that's what North Texas did last year, right? Like they went for one of the tougher opponents and they wanted the tougher matchup ahead of time. That way you kind of hope that maybe there's another team that you might match up better against later on down the road. You can kind of see yourself playing in the championships or something.
And I think that's a good way to get around complacency in that first round. For the higher seed, complacency is a big, no one will admit to it, but it's there. By taking the toughest opponent, you let your team know that, hey, these guys aren't the worst team on here. These guys are tough. No one wants to play them. We're going to play them, so you need to be on your A game immediately. And I think that's a good way for a confident coach to make sure that complacency does not, creep in.
Yeah.
I think we all share the same concern for. I mean, the nice thing about Caleb Swann scoring was that it was someone other than Sam Sarver or Tariq Scott. It's just been they've needed other players, and so maybe Caleb can get going a little bit. I know he's not really. When I did an interview with him, he's more like that 8, that 6, but he said he's comfortable getting forward sometime and helping out, and he certainly did that in Austin. So I think that's the big question that this team needs to figure out. And if Pedrinho's part of that equation, going the rest of the way to get him minutes, if he's not fitting, if he's not in favor with the senior team, maybe that's part of the solution. But we need someone else other than Sam Sarver and Tariq Scott if this team is going to really find that next gear, especially down the stretch. And so I would love to see them bring in someone else if there's someone else out there, but I don't know. I don't know if that's even something they're looking at. Right
I mean, I really am hopeful that Pedrinho is just getting a run of games and not that he's booted down to North Texas. The kid does have something to offer the senior team, and if he's not going to be part of the senior team, then you need to move him. You need to loan him out to a higher level team than North Texas. So I hope that it's just, hey, we're going to give you a run of games, get you back, and then we'll get you back on the senior team. But if he ends up the season on North Texas for the rest of the year, I'm not going to be happy about that.
Mm-hmm. One question I was going to have to you, Jose, because I feel like when I look at the Pedrinho situation, kind of makes me a little bit more worried. I'm erring on the side of, he's had some off of the field stuff. He also, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily fit Eric Quill's model for the offense. Where do you see him fitting in? Because that would be my biggest concern is they look at him and say, you know what, like we've got a roster that we feel comfortable with, let's get you some more minutes, but maybe eventually loan you out. But I don't know, where do you see him kind of fitting in?
Well, I see him as a super sub. He's a guy who can create, who can be this, disappear the entire match and then get you that game winner down the stretch. That's the kind of player you want coming off the bench. And I feel that Acosta may have been given, may have been steering him in the wrong direction,
Yeah.
He's a young player, Pedrinho's a young player. You can't fault him for looking up to a guy that's MVP. You want him. I know I certainly want him picking things up from Acosta, just not those things.
Yes. I mean, that was kind of one of the benefits, right? Like bringing him in is he can mentor a lot of guys ideally too.
You want him to mentor him. But now I think, bring him down to North Texas, let him know that, hey, you're not, you're not a guy that we have to start, that it has to be the senior team. You need to get yourself squared away, and then we'll bring you back up. But I think absolutely there's a lack of playmakers on this team, and he's one of those people that can create and be a playmaker for you, and you want to have him at least to be able to come off the bench. So that's where I see him. I see him as coming off the bench as a winger type. I'm sure they'll figure it out, but I'd hate to see him, like I said, finish his season at North Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we've seen him best for FC Dallas, I mean, certainly he's had a decent season, far above expectations. I think for FC Dallas, and we didn't know that he would have to be. But I think our best is when he's come in late and been able to run at tired.
And he's essentially a rookie. He's essentially a rookie, and that's what you should expect. You should not be surprised if he has a rookie-ish game where he disappears or creates a mistake. He's gonna learn. It's his first year. He's shown flashes that he belongs at the MLS level, and he's also shown flashes that he doesn't belong. We won't know till next year. Right now, get him as many minutes as you can with the senior team and get it figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting storyline to watch. And who knows, maybe even all this stuff with Lucho, it will be a nice professional wake-up call for him, even this time in North Texas, saying like, hey, this is, you need to be a professional. You need to grow up a little bit and make choices. And so we'll see. Yeah.
Lucho, we all, I know we're all happy to see him go, but let's face it, if FC Dallas had a better backline, then Lucho
story.
would not be an issue at all. But the fact that this team needs everybody to help out on defense because we don't have a great backline. You can't have a player like Lucho. I mean, there's some teams here that Fluminense, he may just explode down there because he's not gonna have to worry. He's not gonna have the issues about it. He can just stay up top and worry about attacking. And if he doesn't scramble back on defense, it's not gonna hurt them.
Yeah.
But FC Dallas couldn't afford to have a player like that. He has a lot to offer teams. Just Dallas was a bad fit.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Well, before we get to predictions, one more question about Lucho. And it's kind of really not about Lucho, but who has the most to gain for FC Dallas with Lucho's departure?
Oh, that's easy. It's Delgado. Delgado's basically his stock has risen in the past month. About a month ago, you would have asked us, we all have been on Delgado. We're not really sure how good he is, but he's shown that he can play that 10 spot, and he certainly brings way more on defense than Acosta ever did. Sure, he's not ideal. I don't think he's the same level of playmaker, and I'm not sure he's at the same level of playmaker as Pedrinho would be at that spot. But he offers you everything else. He offers. I mean, you see that guy just pressing like a madman. Causing turnovers. Linking forward properly. He shows you that he's only 21, so he's showing you as far as that position. He's showing you that he can play that position, and he's got room to grow. And I'm kind of excited to see where this kid goes. I honestly, low key, he's my dark horse MVP for the year simply because the fact that he proved he could play that position is probably the reason Acosta is gone.
No, I love that. Yeah. Not to interrupt, but I was kind of on the same boat. I felt Delgado is probably the one to benefit the most. I would have said Pedrinho because I felt like it could have been, the next man up type of mentality, bring Pedrinho, right after Lucho, but Delgado kind of stepped up and is taking his spot. So that's been cool to see. And I like to see where it goes moving forward.
And I'm not saying Delgado is the lockdown starter because I think Leggett will get starts there too. So I think the two of them will share that spot, and one will start and the other will come off the bench. And I think that's great. I think those two guys are perfect. They're solid. They are solid professionals. Both of them will kill themselves trying to better the team and the players around them.
And I could answer from a completely different way, and it's I think the entire back line are the most because they're not going to have to be so stretched, and maybe be a little bit more conservative at times. But I just think they can. Well, I think that they'll be able to work with that midfield. There'll be a little bit more cohesion, if you will, with working with the midfield and knowing where to be, and so that they don't get so stretched out when Lucho would try something and turn the ball over in a terrible spot, But but we'll see. But again, that's the question. Of course, this team may revert back to some of their mistakes, even this weekend, and we'll have to wait and see. So.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as far as this game, they could build off of. They can say, okay, we're heading in the right direction. I'm very excited about that. We didn't look like world beaters out there, but we look like a competent team that could, stick to a game plan and not have mental lapses like we've seen all year. That was refreshing.
All right, before we get to predictions, I'm going to add another topic that's totally off.
Bring it on. Let's do it.
This announcement by La Liga, playing a game in Miami. I think between Barcelona and Real Madrid. Is that right? I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting. It's one of those things you think, yeah, they're going to make a lot of money doing that. It's going to be crazy in Miami for that. And yet you're also like, this is one of the premier fixtures. And which fixture do they choose, to play not in Barcelona, not in Madrid, so strange news in the world of soccer in that way, but also maybe exciting for the U.S. and for the growth of this game, here. That will certainly.
I don't like it. I'm against it. I get what people are saying, but frankly, it's a money grab for them. Really,
Yeah.
You're coming here for the money. You're robbing your fans, your hardcore fans, of seeing their team at home and cheering them on, because let's face it, they're not going to all be able to travel. So I think I don't like it, and frankly, if they allow it, then it's going to just be the first domino, and you'll see many more European games played, here in the U.S. And like I said, I don't like it. I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think it's. I mean, it's good for the pockets, but I don't think it's good for anybody outside of that.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of on the same sentiment. It feels like if there was a level of, hey, we're going to grow the game here in the United States, get the opportunity, like if that was the messaging behind it, feels like the game's already big here. So it's like you really can't grow anything that people already know who Barcelona is. And actually, I was looking, it looks like it, and I could be wrong, I think it was Barcelona versus Villarreal. So it's not even like the big El Clasico match. It's just
more sense. Okay.
Yeah, but still, it's like, kind of what Jose is saying, like you're taking away a home game for either one of these teams. If this is a Villarreal home game, like, those supporters want to see Barcelona play them, but now they don't get to see that when it's in Miami. So I don't love it. I mean, it doesn't affect me too much. I'm not here, I'm not in Miami. So,
True.
I'm not one of the home, Barcelona supporters or Villarreal supporters, but I don't know. I can hear both sides to it, probably less against it, or less for it, but
I think Major League Soccer should follow suit and start playing. FC Dallas and Houston should play
in Barcelona.
In Europe.
Right. Whatever weekend they're gone, we'll show up and we'll pack that stick.
That's a fair trade-off.
Anyway.
We just have this pocket of fans in Madrid or Barcelona that are big FC Dallas.
I mean, that would be wild if you could bring the same number of fans in Europe as you draw at home. I mean, there gotta be some curious people. They're gonna be just like, okay, what are we watching?
They're gonna think it's a football game, like an NFL game, and they'll show up and it'll be an MLS game.
But
all right, yeah.
Hey, NFL MLS partnership, that would be great. Say, hey, the day that you get your NFL teams playing, we'll have an MLS game also.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's close out some predictions. Let's do North Texas, because against welcoming St. Louis City too. Of course, going to be a tough one. It's at home, which is good, and I know North Texas is going to want to keep some momentum going after those 2 points in Austin. I'm bullish on North Texas. I of course we've seen this team go up and down, so I could see a draw easily. I could see a gritty draw, but I think it's going to be a 3-2 win. I think Sarver is going to get the start in this one, but Dietzen coming along. I think they're going to say Sarver go get back in form a little bit, help out North Texas, and I think and hopefully if Pedrinho starts, which should be good to get him back in form, I think he can use some minutes too. I could see a really fun match, a 3-2 win at home for North Texas.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see. I could see a win. I think I'm going to have to go with a 3-2 loss. Unfortunately, I think St. Louis has just been so strong, even playing on the road. If I will say this: if North Texas has the lineup in there with like Pedrinho, if they have Sarver, if Cisse's back, they have these guys in there. They have the potential to beat St. Louis. They're a great team. I don't know if it's going to be our night on Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
it's a big
prediction is going to
doorway.
be a 2-2 draw. I think they've played St. Louis twice before. St. Louis has dominated both matches, 3-0 the first game, 2-0 the next. And yeah, I think if you Pedrinho and the players you brought down, and being at home, I think 2-2 draw with the extra point on penalty kick would be a great result against St. Louis.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do FC Dallas and shift over them as they travel down to Austin. And, Austin's, they're a good team. Let's give Nico Estevez some credit for. Oh, okay. Well,
They're not a good team.
all right.
They're not a good team. They're
some
one of the
results.
teams. They're one of the teams that we need to beat. They're one of the teams that it's right there with FC Dallas. They are one of the bunch of mediocre teams, and that includes FCD, that are all battling for that last playoff position. Austin's right there on the same boat as FC Dallas, and the winner of this game puts itself, one step closer to playoffs at the expense of the other. And it's a Copa Texas match.
Right. Correct.
So
Correct.
Dallas needs to draw and a win, I believe, in the last two games to retake, reclaim the cup. So, hey, yeah, very important game. This is a beatable opponent. This is not a team that's going to come out and put a bunch of goals on you. It's going to be a slow, tedious match where, the winner could be a 1-0 win. But it's a team you absolutely can take points away from, and you should. I would be very happy with a draw. And like I said, I don't think Austin's a very good team. Like I said, there's a bunch of teams, including FC Dallas. We're talking like 8 teams that are all around the same level, and Austin's right there.
Oh, good. Good. I mean, they've carved out some results when I didn't think they would carve out some results, and so I give Nico credit. And I think they've been very good defensively, but and have found those scrappy goals. But yeah, I mean, we've seen Nico ball there as well, and maybe that really suits how FC Dallas is going to try to smash and grab a little bit. FC Dallas only had 40% possession at home against Portland. And that some of that was game state. Portland was trying to push too, but I think some of that could really favor the matchup there if FC Dallas can get that goal or two to really make life and frustrate Austin. So, yeah, no, I'm going to go with the draw. I think a draw on the road will be some confidence. So I'm going to go 1-1.
I think we forgot we're playing on the road, and so this is going to be a 3-1 win because we're the road dogs.
I like it.
We're all in on it. It's Copa Tejas. Like Jose was saying, we need, I think, a win and a draw in the last 2 against Austin. We're getting it. We're bringing it back. 3-1 win.
I'll go with a 1-0 win, FC Dallas. By the way, I was telling you how these two teams are along, pretty much same level. And Austin is sitting at -5 goal differential. I think we're sitting at -7. So, yes, very close. And Austin's played one less game. So, if we win, we'll probably have the same goal differential. So it's there. I'm just saying, when I say these teams are very similar level, they are.
All right. Well, good. Well, we'll leave it there. Of course, I'll be posting the audio up wherever you find podcasts. It'll be on Substack and afterburn.soccer, and appreciate everyone listening in today. Hope you're also doing your prep. We're all a little uncertain. Like I'm this time, I'm trying not to get so overly positive about these, teams. I think it's good weekend, but like we've been dashed. Our hopes have been dashed before, so I'm trying to be like, hey, let's ease into this weekend. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, it was great conversation, Chris, Jose. Always good to have both of you on.
Yeah. Good to see you, Chris.
Good seeing you.
Follow us all on X, everybody. Follow us on Substack. Looking forward to a fun weekend of action ahead. Thanks and good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.